hello there. Have you ever heard of Witches Flying Ointment? Do you know what it is? Well, let's find out. We all know the iconic image of a witch flying on a broom, right? But did witches actually fly on brooms, or were they just experiencing hallucinations? Back in the 1500s, some people believed witches really did fly through the sky on a broom, but other people believed witches were not flying at all. Instead, they believed witches were using a hallucinogenic ointment called Witches Flying Ointment. The English philosopher Francis Bacon, looking very sassy here, listed the ingredients of the Witches Flying Ointment as the fat of children digged out of their graves, of juices of wild celery, wolfsbane, and barren strawberry mingled with the meal of wheat. Other recipes call for belladonna, henbane, jimsonweed, mandrake, hemlock, and wolfsbane. Sounds dangerous. As we know, most of these plants contain compounds that can affect behavior, mood, or thoughts, or perception. These plants are extremely toxic and have caused numerous fatalities when eaten, whether by confusion with edible species or in cases of criminal poisoning. In 1924, Louis Lewin wrote that magic ointments produced effects which the subjects themselves believed in, even stating they had sexual experiences with evil spirits. The subjects said they had been at the Sabbath and danced with their lovers. He wrote that the peculiar hallucinations evoked by the drug had been so powerfully transmitted from the subconscious mind to consciousness that mentally uncultivated persons believed them to be reality. It has even been the subject of discussion between religious leaders as to whether witches were able to physically fly to the Sabbath on their brooms with the help of the ointment, or whether such flights could be explained in other ways. Perhaps a delusion created by the devil in the minds of the witches, or maybe it was just the souls of the witches leaving their bodies to fly in spirit to the Sabbath, or maybe it was just a hallucinatory trip facilitated by the effects of drugs being absorbed through the skin. During the Renaissance, a scientist interviewed users of the flying ointment, and he also witnessed its effects upon them firsthand, comparing the death-like trances he observed in his subjects with their accounts of the revelry they had enjoyed. He wrote, "Anointing themselves with certain ointments, they are carried by night through the air to distant lands to do certain black magic. But nothing of this is true, though they think it to be. While they are thus dead and cold, they have no more feeling than a corpse, and may even be whipped and even beaten. But after the time agreed upon, their senses are liberated. They arise well and merry, tell everyone what they've done, and bring news from other lands." Some sources say that such an ointment would best be absorbed through certain parts of the anatomy, and that the traditional image of a female witch riding on a broomstick actually means the witches used the broomstick itself to apply the flying ointment to the female anatomy. During the witch trials in Europe, accused witches were often tortured into confessing to fantastical tales of flying on broomsticks, attending otherworldly gatherings, and applying magical ointments to aid in their nocturnal adventures. The flying ointment served as a convenient scapegoat for the persecution of people accused of witchcraft, providing authorities with an easy explanation for the fantastical confessions extracted through torture. While historians now consider many of the confessions from the witch trials to be coerced, the idea of witches flying ointment has endured as a symbol of occult practices. So, what do you think? Are witches just hallucinating, or can witches actually fly through the air? I think you know where I stand on that matter.